Hey Insider, just want to say thank you so much for tuning in today. We've got a special guest joining us who've recently graduated from our flagship course, Life Mastery Achievers, and she'll be sharing with us in terms of her experience on board LMA, how she found the whole journey and everything in between. So just want to say it's great seeing you here. Let's start with an introductory question. What's your name? Where you currently based and what you currently do?
My name is Angela Lindsay. I'm based out of the DFW area, Dallas Fort Worth, and I am a realtor currently.
Okay, awesome. So we're going to rewind time right now, Angela. If you were to just be, I suppose, bluntly honest with us in terms of what was happening in your life prior to LMA, in terms of the issues or problems you're experiencing in your life, and how was it showing up, and how was it impacting you?
Well, okay. uh, Prior to LMA, I was going in and out of being a realtor and going into corporate America. And I was an engineer, network designer at the major telephone company. I don't know if I should say the name, but um, it became a very like a rat hole where you had to produce so much volume. And I'm an older woman and I don't produce as much as the younger ones. So I got into a position, and and my mindset was I'm going to be as friendly, as open, as welcoming, and I'm going to do everything right. And I tried my best to do everything right. Well, I got with COVID, I got let go, and then I decided I need to do something for myself, and I need to do real estate 100%. But I had fear, I had anxiety, I had thought that I wasn't good enough because I got let go from that position. I couldn't keep up. The volume they wanted me to design 100 circuits a day. I couldn't do that. Um, I had I had doubt about who I was, and I was starting to search. And then I came across with, to be a coach. And because I love helping people, I love connecting with people. And I started researching, and what I found out is that I had to fix me first because I had so much baggage, so
Mm,
much junk. How can I bring anything to someone else? How can I get them to have a transformation if I'm still full of, a lot of anxiety, doubt, fear? I had a lot of limited beliefs. So, how can I recover from that? And then that's when I found you.
okay. So you're pretty much saying you had fear, you was experiencing fear, and even some limiting beliefs back then. What sort of limiting beliefs were you experiencing that was kind of holding you back?
That I wasn't good enough,
Mm,
that I was not good enough for a certain clientele,
mm,
um, that I wasn't smart enough. I'm not. I don't articulate well. I don't speak well. All those things that I was told, growing up.
okay. And do you recall when you came across our message for the first time?
I do. I was actually, doing my research on how to improve myself, and then your video came up. Actually, you came up twice for me. And the first time I just kind of like swiped over you. And the second time I was like, huh. Something I can't remember what it was, but it was something that you said that I needed that at that moment. And you were walking through, I think, a house or something. And I said, hmm. And so my thought was to go ahead and register. And I never, ever,
Mm.
ever register for stuff like that online. I'm like, I don't even know who these people are, but I felt drawn to you, and I felt, comfortable. And so I decided to sign up for your webinar. I think it was, I can't remember what it was, but I signed up for it. And when I got your email to join, I had forgotten all about it. And
Mm.
that morning, and I usually don't ever look at my email, but so for some reason that morning, I was looking at my email and I had that invitation, don't forget to join tonight, today. So
Mm.
I did. And here I am. It was history.
So you pretty much came across our advert and you were saying you skipped the first time, but second time you was, I suppose, drawn to actually register to that free class. So that class was all about life reinvention. What was it that really drew you towards learning further from us? Because of course, at the end of that class, you had a chance to learn further on board our flagship course, LMA. So what was it that actually drew you wanting to join that course?
I think the change that you talked about, how we would make this transformation about who we are, starting believing. I think the limited beliefs you talked about, making the change in who we are, being a stronger person, walking into our future self. I got all those messages, and that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be the best me I can be, because I know inside there's this powerful person inside of me, but that fear can never seep out because of the fear that surrounded it.
And since you're quite new to our message, what would you say was your biggest fear or doubts you had about the course or our work? And what ended up putting that doubt aside for you? Because you did end up actually joining, of course, and going through the entire course.
Yeah, well, the fear was, is it a scam? Is it going to work? I'm not going to work the program. I'll sign up, the 30-day free, you gave me the 30 days to join in and then say goodbye. And I said, well, yeah, I'll do that. I'll go in there, see what's it about, and then I'll leave. So I think that's probably what it was.
Okay. So it was the unconditional money back guarantee that made it kind of like a no-brainer for you.
Well, that was part of it. I think the desire that I really wanted to change
Mm,
was the bigger part. And then it was just cushioned by the money back guarantee.
mm.
So I had to have that desire first, because I get a lot of money back guarantees that I don't sign up for. But I really wanted to make a change for myself.
What was it that was making you want to commit to that change? What was it that day that really made you want to say, yeah, it's enough for me?
Well, I guess because I'm an older woman, and I've been through so many. I've been struggling so long trying to be my best me, and
Mm.
then you told me that you can help me with that. I'm going to take a chance because I'm tired. Enough is enough. It's time for me to show up.
And appreciate your honesty in terms of you saying that you was looking to originally back out within the refund guarantee period. That's quite interesting because you actually, of course, completed an entire course, even though you originally had that intention. So when you end up getting involved with LMA, when did you, I suppose, start having different thoughts in terms of maybe I'm going to give it my all? Like when was that switch? Like when did that happen? And why did that happen?
Well, I came in with that mindset. I'm
Mm,
going to give it my all. It was a little struggle at the beginning. And when I got to week 2,
mm,
oh my God, it challenged me at a level that I've never been at, right? And that was to write the letter that I had to write
yeah.
was very challenging. And I could not, it took me 2 weeks to complete that one day,
Wow.
2 weeks to complete that one day. And I struggled with that. But then after I, got on live, and let me just tell you, I don't do live anything. I don't do live Facebook. I don't even put myself on Facebook. I don't put my photos on Facebook. So to go into a group where I knew no one and start doing live, I just challenged myself to do it. Then I had to go read this letter, but I wanted this to work for me. So I'm going to do everything I possibly can do to make sure it works. So I read my letter, and it was so emotional, but the breakthrough that I had was phenomenal. It changed. It was a game changer, to really feel the emotions that I was going through, and then to be released from a lot of those limited beliefs, and to understand that, you know, what was going on with maybe, my father. The letter was about my father. It's not a reflection on me, you know, and I can choose to have that distance, right? So that was a game changer for me to be able to experience that. And then it was a struggle. Week 3 was a struggle. And I was like, and I was not with the live at the time. I was doing this on my own. So
Mm,
there was like not a lot of support there because a lot of people were just coming off of season 11.
mm.
And so with week 3, it was a lot of work. And it was more challenging for me as well. So I wanted to rush through and complete it. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to wait until the live, and I'm going to go with Tim and get the guidance. And that's what I did.
Oh, nice. So you
Yeah.
started live with us from week 1 and you went through that together with us.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So I didn't realize you went through it on your own first. Okay.
Well, I only made it to the third week
Yeah.
uncompleted.
So, I mean, there's no denying week 2 is a bit of a challenge to say the least. For those individuals tuning in, if you was to just firstly start with this general overview of LMA, what would you say has been notable changes or biggest benefits you've actually gotten from this entire course as a whole?
So how it benefited my life.
Yeah, in terms of your life, your mind, your thoughts, or whatever seems relevant. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think a full mind change shift has really happened with me. My relationship with my daughter, my husband has been improved because I've changed, you know.
Mm,
Um, I have a different mindset. I think of things differently. As far as, you know, trying to be organized and, get my business on point, and that has changed. The routines that I have in place, by doing my affirmations, my meditations, all that has helped me be a more, open person. I was considered. I thought I was shy, but and I knew that that's not really who I am. So I was able to find my voice. I was able to, and one thing I wanted to do was live unapologetically. I want to be able to be who I am and not apologize, because I think all my life I've always apologized for being too friendly, to this, to that. And so now it's like, this is who I am. And so I'm really comfortable with being who I am and in my skin. Now, I still do have, like yesterday, I was going through some stuff. I still do have a lot of, I'm not perfect. I
mm,
still have a lot of things. But the good thing about it is I now have the tools that you have supplied us with. You have impacted so much in 6 weeks. I mean, it's just amazing that how much you have put into the program. It's like it's worth so much more, right? You have provided so much so that when I go through these challenges, as I'm facing my day, I take a breath and I just relax, and I'm like, okay, what did Tim say? What should I be doing now?
yeah.
How should I overcome this? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit this to the side because this is just an event, you
Mm,
know, and
yeah.
it's gonna work out the way it's supposed to work out. And I'm gonna focus on what's important right now. So I've been able to do a lot of those things, which has improved a lot of things in my life. I'm not at 100%, but I'm a lot better off than I was when I started this program, and
Mm.
I'm grateful.
That's amazing to hear that. And I think with personal transformation journey, everything true change does definitely take time. I'm still on my journey after many, many, many years, and I'm going to continue to definitely grow. But I'm ever so glad to hear, you've been progressing further and so forth. Is this your first time ever going through a course, or you've been through other courses before?
This is my first time going through this type of course. I did something else before and it was so many years ago, probably 12. It was longer than that because my daughter wasn't born yet. So probably 20 years ago, I went through something, and I can't even remember, but I did go through something. It was like a 3-day retreat type thing.
Mm,
But since 20 years ago, this is my first time.
okay. Which module would you say has had the biggest amount of impact on your life and why?
Oh my gosh. I think 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 module. I'm going to say the one that talks about money
Mm,
because,
5.
I had no idea um, where my those limited beliefs come from,
Mm,
and how I perceive money and how I was holding on tight, how I need to let go, and that kind of thing. So I think that was one of them. The one that I'm going through, I mean, number 6 is also good because it talks about relationships. And
mm,
that's what I really feel like I want to be able to relate with other people and connect with other people. And so this one is that one, number 6 is a good, excuse me, it's a good one as well.
mm. So
So,
5 and 6, yeah.
mhm.
And week 2 was the hardest for you, you're
It
saying.
was, oh my God. But I had so many because I had a chance to do my letter twice.
Wow.
And I don't know if I could, if you had a moment, I could tell you about one of the letters.
Yeah, go for it.
So one of the letters I had, for the longest, for years, I have believed that I was not good enough
Mm,
to represent, Caucasian white people, right?
mm,
And I didn't know why, but every time I got nervous and I didn't show up in my authentic self because of the fear of I didn't know how they were going to receive me. And then I realized I had a revelation during one of our club courses or whatever, of one of the videos I was doing, where it was coming from. And where it had came from was an experience that I had when I got out of college. And I was younger, I had a more youthful voice. And I had an interview over the phone, and the lady was excited. She's like, come on down, I'm going to hire you. And then when I went down and went to her office and I went in there, she came around the corner. She was so excited to receive me. Angela, is that you? And when she saw me, she just was so disappointed of who I was. And that was hard. So I wrote a letter to her. And after I wrote that letter, I felt so much more empowered because, and the thing about it is 95% of my clients are Caucasian or white. And so that is a limited belief that's not even real. There's no evidence, right?
yeah.
So, but I held that so, and I didn't realize where it was coming from. But now that I wrote that letter, it just really subsided those limited beliefs. Like they
Wow.
just kind of like went away. So now I don't have that fear that, okay, so I'm talking to these people over the phone, and when they meet me, what are they going to say? What are they going to think? Mm-mm, not anymore. I'm just ready to show up. So,
So after you read out that letter on a live or after
yeah,
you
I read
sent
it on
it,
the live.
did you send it?
Send it to her?
Yeah.
No, I don't even know where she is. I mean,
Oh, okay.
I was like, I'm 56 right now. I was 23 at the time.
But
So
just even
this
just
is,
reading out loud, that just really freed you.
it freed me to read that out loud. It's something magical about reading those letters
Mm,
out loud live. I don't know if it works if you don't, but I know I read it to my father before I went live and it didn't work. But to be live for some reason, it just was so freeing. It's like I gave it to the universe, right?
mm, yeah.
So,
How did you feel afterwards? What emotions did you feel?
man, you know, I felt lighter and I felt empowered. I felt like I loved myself more. I felt more love for myself. So it was nice.
Mm.
It was really nice.
So we're almost at the end now. So I'm just gonna just go through the final lot of questions I want to ask you. Firstly, just want to say thank you so much for your time. And you definitely do have such a soothing voice.
Oh,
You're making
thank
this
you.
so enjoyable for me right now. Relaxed. Okay. So I suppose I wanted to know, and viewers sometimes want to know in terms of how is this different from watching more YouTube videos or reading more books, what is it that makes the LME course different from other things you can find out there?
I'm gonna tell you, I know this is not your question, but it just toggled my memory. The reason why I joined you is because you said that everything that I'm searching for, you're going to have it all in one package and you're going to have it organized in a way in which we could really receive it. And I'm going to tell you that is it. You can go and watch video after video after video, but you're not going to get what you gave us. I mean, you can, it's going to take you a lot longer to get there.
Mm,
It may take 3 or 4 years. I mean, that's how much information you have because you have to research. You got to find the right person that's saying the right thing. You've already done the hard work. You've already done it. You already know it. You know it works. And so, and you put it together in a nice little package. You know, everything is, it flows, right?
mm,
And so for me, I would have never, probably would have never got to the money. I would have never got to the relationships. I wouldn't have never gotten to, I was working on the limited beliefs, but some of the other things that you were talking about, I would have never gotten there.
right.
I probably eventually, like in a couple of years, but I don't have that kind of time, you
Mm,
know? And so the sooner that I start working on me and then just continue to work your modules. And another thing that I like that I notice is that you bring more things with each season. It's like you improve your season. So it's not like you go on YouTube, it's the same tape, the same information from 10 years ago.
yeah.
But with you, it's like, okay, well, I found something else. Let's tweak this. Let's make this different. Let's make this better. So you're going to get a better version of Tim Han
Yeah.
every season, right?
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I'm glad you noticed. Glad you noticed. Yeah, it's
I
something
did.
I do intentionally really try from my side, take on all the feedback, improve it every season. The final question that I had was for somebody watching this video right now who maybe in a similar situation to where you used to be and where you were when you were checking out the webinar with us and you had the chance to join LMA. What advice would you give to somebody who's considering and joining the course right now, but they're having maybe they're kind of stuck in a limbo, trying to decide? What advice would you give that person right now?
I would say do it. I know that's so cliche, but it is so true. I mean, it's hard, and it's hard to hear to just do it, but it has changed my life so much. It's made such a big, huge impact on my life that it's worth it. It's worth doing. It's worth taking the chance. But what I will say is that you have to be ready.
Mm,
You really have to be ready because and I'm going to say this and you can cut it out, but I remember being in one of your lives and I saw someone saying, "Oh my God, I thought this was just going to be an hour." So
yeah,
they're not ready. Like, I'm like, okay, can you give me another hour, Tim? Give me some more, give me some more.
yeah,
And so you have to be ready. You
yeah.
have to be wanting it
Mm,
because it's not going to work. You can say, "Oh, it didn't work." It didn't work because you weren't ready for it. You've
yeah,
got to be ready.
got to be willing to put in that work.
Yes, and willing to work.
Definitely. So, Angela, not only, of course, have you graduated just a couple days ago, but of course, you went above and beyond, and that's why we did reward you on top of that as well. So, just want to say it's been a pleasure taking you through this journey first time round. Let's just keep growing together.
Yeah.
Is there anything final you want to add for all of us right now, or?
Just do it. I mean, don't hesitate. Just do it. I mean, it's going to change your life. It's going to improve your relationships with your family, your friends, even on a job with your company. It's going to improve all that. Your work ethics. It's going to improve how you show up, how you love yourself. It's going to improve all that. So do it. You owe yourself that.
Okay.
Like you said before, you don't want to die with regrets, right?
Mm, definitely, definitely. Angela, just want to say thank you so much for your time today. And just want to say, for those of you watching this video, just want to say thanks so much for checking this out. And as always, follow your heart and take action. And let's create the life you're truly born to live.